Hello people, this is just a short video about bridges, the drawbridge. I've put up some different setups and some options on it to give you an idea. It's creative mode, so that's pretty easy to do. Well, the bridge is something that a lot of people have problems with, the placing of the bridge and how they can actually use it. So this is the normal use of the bridge. You have the one block and the bridge opens and closes, of course. That's pretty standard. You can also place the bridge upside down, but one very important thing, it's not going up. It will be going down. And in this lower setup you can see that the bridge actually goes into the ground. Now I put up another setup over here, same bridge, but now this version has gone up into the wall. That's just the setup I made, and you can see that you can use it, but it's floating, so it's not attached anywhere. In the second setup I made a gap, so it's the same as this one. I upped the blocks 2 levels so you can actually lock it in place. See, it's not floating anymore, and it now can act as a door. So same setup, it's upside down, but now it's actually encased in blocks, so it actually looks like it's combined with the wall. You see the bridge actually goes into the blocks. You have then this bit sticking out, so you might think, well, I'll put blocks in there to encase it so it shows better. That is actually not a thing. As you can see, you cannot place any blocks here. The blocks will go one up, so it's exactly the same setup as over here. The only thing I did was add the extra blocks, and I tried to put them here, but they will not work. Well, this is just something extra. I tried to encase it, so you have the blocks here. I tried to put them down even more and then close it off, but this section again you cannot close it, so that's a bit of a shame. So that will not work. Otherwise this would actually be perfect, I think. Now another setup is actually on the inside, and the bridge is now upside down. So if you look here, on all bridges the support beam is on top. Over here as well, support is on top. Now over here I put the support at the bottom, so you actually flip it around vertically, and now it can close onto the ground. You can also do it with this one, exactly the same, but remember that these supports will stick out of the ground, so they will be above ground always. By flipping it upside down, they will go into the ground. So that might work. It flattens out the hole that you dig a bit more. I think this looks rather nice. Now another thing that people were going to encounter is the fact that if you place the bridge this way or the other version, that doesn't really matter, is you have these holes, and these holes will remain. You actually don't get stuck now. Well, you can hear that he tries to jump. Zombies will actually stand here and start jumping, and eventually they will start hitting the bridge. So that's not really good. Now I did some extra setup. So this is with the normal ramp going straight down. You could see there was a gap. This is the ramp with a straight block one deeper. That way it will actually close off. And then I put another wedge tip on it to actually close it off completely. Now if you put a half block here and I don't know, continue whatever you want, more half blocks, wedge tips again, you can then actually with this one close it off completely. That's the only way. You cannot put the half blocks, the straight half block over here, because then when you come up you will hit a bump. You cannot continue, so you have to use the wedge tip to be able to drive out actually. It does have that bulge. Yeah, it's a choice that you will have to make for yourself. If we put the bridge down again, second option, or third option, sorry, that's all wedges. So it's the wedge block and the wedge tip, the wedge block, wedge tip. But that also, just like this one, will create the hole. Only advantage that you have is that the descent is more gradual. So if you drive your bike in here, you don't get the situation that you actually jump inside, because that's what sometimes with the frames happens, because the drop is so steep that you will actually jump inside your tunnel. And if you have a very long tunnel, in one of my builds on the Patreon server from Game Edge, I got a really long corridor going down, and I actually started with the ramps, and if I drive in there full speed, for instance, being chased or whatever, nah, not so good. Half of the time I land somewhere down there. First of all, you land very deep then, because the descent is so steep, so you will land very deep, and you have to close it, so you'll land very deep. You get damage because you drop very deep, and you have to get up, and that's very steep again, so you'll have to jump, run, jump, run, jump, run to get up a bit quicker. Now if you use the wedges, the incline is, or the descent is less steep, so you won't jump as hard, and it's more easy to get up. So using ramps or wedges, I prefer the wedges, but everybody has its own opinion about that. With the wedges, if you actually make it stop here, you will have this hole. You cannot put it onto this level from this wedge and then go down, because if you do that, you cannot get underneath here. So this block is upside down and it's blocked here. You see, now I can go in and I can go out, but if you do it one higher like this one and then go down, you'll get stuck here. The only option you could do in this case is not use the bridge like this, but turn it upside down. So the normal way up with the support poles on the top. And then you could do this to close it off. And then continue straight with half block. You know what I mean is something like this. Concrete half block and the wedge tip. So continue this, for instance, and then use the tip to close it off. So that's something that you can do actually, and then you have it closed off quite nicely. Everything has its own choice. So this is the option I was talking about. Now, as you can see here, I didn't even continue it because it was so obvious, but here you will already bump your head, so you can't get in. So that's something something to think about. So personally, I think the third one, so this one is very steep. This one will go nicely to actually really close off the bridge. Forget about this construction actually. This one is the best one to close it off completely. But yeah, you have that uneven drop. This one, the third one, is the best one to go down. It actually works the best. So, and the fourth one, that's not possible. So that's for the upside down bridge. Then there's another thing. You can actually be careful about that. You can actually place the bridge one level lower than over here. You can see that the top is viewable, but I can't use the bridge. The friggin' bridge cannot be selected, so don't do that. These bridges take a lot of resources, so don't make the mistake and think I'll put it one lower, then it's hidden or whatever. That will not work. The last option, bridge elements are 4 high. So 1, 2, 3 and then 4. But they can actually sink into the ground a bit. You can see over here that I just placed it straight down, and over here I connected it to blocks. So this way you can actually build a wall or something around a complex, and you can make a real entry gate. And it sinks a bit into the ground because you can see that the top support structure here, this one, is not viewable over here. It's in the ground. So it perfectly locks off. And look at what a nice entrance you have now. That looks nice. You can go in and you can close them off. And you can still take a peek. You can build watchtowers next to it or whatever you like. I think this is quite nice. This is also an option how you can use the drawbridge. Well, this was just a little setup to show you the several the different ways you can actually use it. You can of course make this the other way around as well. But I hope you get an idea about the possibilities. So underground is not working. Upside down works perfectly with several different ways of going into your tunnel. Wedges, in my opinion, preferred. The gate, showed you that you cannot enclose it. It's blocked off. So that's a bit of a shame. And you can also make an entrance door like this. But that's all how you want to use it. I hope this video has been a bit of a help to give you an idea about your options, and you don't have to waste resources trying to place bridges, try bridges, etc. So have fun with 7 Days to Die, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.